I go to this edible store. I bought 100 milligrams, but they came in four Rice Krispie treats. I popped it, went back to the room. Somehow I end up looking at my body in a 360 view. I'm looking at myself, hold my chest, and it felt like I'm getting stabbed in my heart. So that let me know, you have all knowing knowledge. That let me know right there that I was having a heart attack. I realized I was dead. And the moment I realized I was dead, I went shooting straight down to hell. Literally, hell. Hey guys, my name is Joel, formerly known as Joel TV 2.0. I've been a YouTuber for about 9 years, been relevant in the YouTube scene. I'm here to tell you guys my near-death experience and how I was dead and Jesus brought me out of hell. I literally went to the pits of hell. So I had a cheating problem that was because I always felt weird, and that was an addiction I had out the gate. I always felt weird since I was born. Literally, I always felt out of place, always felt depressed, always just felt like it was something on me that I couldn't shake. But as I started to do YouTube, I just blew up quick, right? And I was married, and I just started to like cheat on my wife. And I knew that I was cheating on my wife was wrong. So I was an athlete. I played basketball, football, but I never really did drugs. I never drunk. But I started messing with this girl, so I started to do drugs. And I'm talking about edibles because I didn't want to smoke because I thought it was gonna mess with my performance. So I started to do drugs, and it was particularly edibles. I was doing 1,000 to 5,000 milligrams. That's a lot. I was doing a lot of weed. That's like not even normal. Even 1,000 are normal. But my tolerance is getting so hooked onto it. And me and my wife was supposed to get a divorce, but somehow God kept us together. But we wasn't staying together. But I was with this girl. I was still with this girl. My life was going bad. My dad had died. All this was in the same year. I was facing 25 years to life because the girl that I could not leave, which later on I found out she was doing witchcraft on me. The girl that I could not leave called the cops on me because I told her I wanted to get back with my wife. And she lied on me, and I was facing 25 to 35 years of life for 3 felony accounts. So all of this stuff is happening. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my money. I don't even know witchcraft is on me. I didn't know about none of this spiritual stuff. I came from a Christian background, but at the end of the day, it was because of my family. So I really didn't take it as serious. I was living my own life. I was trying to get some money. So mind you, I told you guys, I'm always feeling weird. I'm always feeling depressed. So I'm doing drugs. So I was going back and forth with my wife, going back and forth with this girl. I didn't even know that the girl had put a love spell on me. So the girl put a love spell on me, and I was hooked on to her. So that was the witchcraft part of it. So this particular year, this, like I said, all of this has happened the last year. I cut a lot of parts out because this is a super long story, but this is the year I died. So this year, my dad died. I'm facing 25 years of life, 35 years. I lost all my supercars. I was worth millions of dollars. I was making 5 million in a year. All this from YouTube. I'm worth a lot of money. But this particular time, I'm officially done with my wife. I'm back with the girl that pressed charges on me. Mind you, I have a whole tether on my leg because of the stuff she put on me. She called the cops, and I did a whole month and a half in jail. And I got out because I asked God, I said, God, if you get me out of jail, I'll serve you. And I got out within that same day. And I had a tether on my leg, but yet, once again, this girl, I could not get over. So this particular time, this is the point right here. Meet up with this girl, and mind you, I could not be with this girl unless I was on drugs. So um we book a hotel in Houston, Texas, and freaking I go to this edible store. I bought 100 milligrams, but they came in four Rice Krispie treats, and I only had one. Right, it was a Mexican place. They, was selling edibles. She was looking at me weird because she knew I wasn't. She knew something that I wasn't supposed to be in there. I knew I wasn't supposed to be in there. I just bought it. I asked the girl that I was with at the time, which was my girl at the time, did she want to take some? She said no. I popped it, went back to the room. It's about like 2 p.m. Afternoon. and the edible haven't even kicked in yet. Somehow, this is the part where I known I died, because everybody that asks me, how do I know I died and you want to sleep? Because I felt the pain. So mind you, I wasn't asleep, but I end up looking at my body in a 360 view. It was like I had bug's eyes. I was able to look everywhere at once. I'm looking at myself, hold my chest, and it felt like I'm getting stabbed in my heart. So that let me know, you have all knowing knowledge. That let me know right there that I was having a heart attack. Mind you, I don't even know how, I can't even say I was asleep. I came out of my body. Because after I took the edible and I went to my room, I don't even know how I was able to look at myself. So that right there was like how I died. It's like I can't even say I suddenly fell asleep. No, I took the edible, went back to my room. We watched the TV, just relaxing. And next thing you know, I'm watching myself die. And I'm talking to her because it was a 2-bedroom split at the hotel. She wasn't on my bed. Somehow I was on my bed and she was on her bed. But we usually sleep together. But this particular time, I'm looking at her, telling her help, as if I'm living out the pain. So I'm looking at myself, but I can see everywhere, all around the room. But it's still as if I'm in the body having a heart attack and looking at her, telling her to help me. I don't even know how to explain that. But I'm still looking at myself die and screaming in agony, and she's not answering me. But I'm not even knowing that I'm dead already, and I'm watching me die. So after that happens, I take my eyes off myself and I'm looking around this room. Mind you, I'm in the spirit realm right now. I'm already dead. I'm looking around this room. The spirit realm don't look like no ghost stuff. It like the movies make it. It looked like an actual room, but parallel in the spirit realm. It looks real. And I'm gazing upon things. I'm looking at her. She's eating. I'm looking at the TV. I was really hooked up to the TV because I'm looking at the TV and I'm like, yo, the acting is very bad. And I guess because in the spirit realm, you know everything. So if somebody do something subconsciously, how they had like commercials or whatever, how they put subliminals in there, I was able to scope that out. And then I lay eyes on me. I realized I was dead. And the moment I realized I was dead, I went shooting straight down to hell, literally hell. And as I'm falling, it was the most scariest thing I ever seen in my life. It was as if the movie Get Out, that's the only way I can explain it, when he's falling in slow motion, but mine's wasn't slow motion. Mine's was literally so fast, it felt like slow motion. And if you can see my hand moving, it was a ripple effect of my soul going down, and it had to catch up. But as I'm falling, I'm seeing, like I said, you get all knowing knowledge, but you're not thinking about that because you either go to hell or heaven. I get all knowing knowledge of everything I've done in my life. My light is flashing like so fast. I don't know how. I'm only 32. I don't, at that point in time, that literally happened like a year and a half ago. So it was like, how can I remember all that? That happened when I was 30 because I just turned 32. That, how can I remember 30 years in the span of, it felt like 1 second, but I knew exactly every wrong decision I made, and it's going fast. Every decision just going fast, and I'm falling so fast, but I'm falling slow at the same time because it's eternity where I'm going. I guess the spirit realm is eternity. Now, as I'm gazing up, I can see through the earth, but I can still see the earth. But it's different parallels because you get all knowing knowledge. And I'm screaming, and I'm not even, the music down there, they say heaven have music. The music in hell was so demonic and so scary, that scared me more than a demon I seen myself. I wasn't even afraid of the demon I seen. It was a massive demon, and he was talking to me, and we was reading each other's mind, but it was as if we was talking to each other. And I couldn't open my mouth. It was weird. I didn't even think about opening my mouth. I was screaming though, but we was talking, and as I'm thinking these thoughts, it was as if we was communicating. And I'm screaming, get me out of here, and where am I going? And he's got like this 1,000 voice, and he just got a snake list after every voice, like, haha, like that, but it's 1,000 voices I can't explain. And he said, I finally got you. Like a snaky, lizardy Dragon Ball Z character. That's the only way I tell people how I explain how this dude look. Humanoid, lizardy, Dragon Ball Z. They put a lot of stuff in entertainment. And it makes you think, like, how can you even draw this stuff if you haven't seen it? But he's talking to me, said, I finally got you. I've been waiting on you since birth. So he was my assignment demon to get me to go to hell. And he kept saying, I finally got you. I finally got you. And he kept mocking me. He just kept laughing at me. And at this point, I started to peel my face off because it was so much pain and agony of just regret. Because mind you, I'm still seeing my life play out. It's as if God gave me his brain. It's literally as God gave me his brain and you got all knowing knowledge, but you're not thinking about that. It's collapsing you because everything that I was taught was true. You know, you got so many different religions out, and it's just like, man, Christianity, like, I'm going to hell. And in my religion and Christianity, they said you don't ever get out. And I'm witnessing this. Mind you, I still got drip of music going along with the vibe or whatever I'm doing. And this drill demonic music feel like it's in my soul, feel like my ears is bleeding, feel like thunder. It feel like just so much going on, but I still see all the regrets going on. I still see this demon. I'm still talking to this demon and I'm still falling. I'm feeling air as I'm falling, but I can't see it. It's a supernatural feeling. And mind you, I'm still looking inside of the room, seeing what the girl is doing. All of this is going on all at once. And I have the worst anxiety. It's like everything is amplified times a million, not even 1,000, a million, because the spiritual nature of where I'm at. And as I'm falling, I see the girl, she's still on her head. I mean, on the bed. I see everything as if I had a binocular lens, but I'm still able to see the demon, but I'm able to still see like outer darkness falling, everything at once. So I'm getting closer to the pits of hell. I'm literally going so deep. I'm screaming, God, God. That was the only thing I could think about, but I didn't even want to say that because I felt dirty and ashamed because, like I said, I left some parts out. So I didn't want to say God because at church we do deliverance where they cast out demons. I already went to 2 and 3 deliverances where they cast demons out of me, but I couldn't stop going back to the girl, which later I found out was a love spell, was witchcraft. But I was thinking about that. I'm like, God ain't gonna save me. This is it. I'm going to hell. I'm literally, I can't believe this is happening. I'm going down. So I said, anyways, God, I'm peeling my face off. I don't even feel the pain. Nothing happened. Nothing. I'm falling and the demon laughing even more. Then I had heard this voice call on Jesus. I kid you not. And I said, no, I already said God. I'm thinking that in my head. Call on Jesus. I say, you know what? Skip it. I'm getting closer. If I get to the gates of hell, I know I'm not getting out. Now I know that. But back then I didn't know. I'm in the outer darkness part of hell. And I just said, Jesus. The moment I said Jesus, right back in my body. Right back in my body. But the thing is, I went to hell 5 times. So I went back to my body and I'm thinking like I'm awake, but the same thing happened to me and it got amplified. And the demon pulled me down this time. He's like, got you, and laughed at me. And I lived that out the same exact sequence 5 times. And I said Jesus' name 5 times. And every time got worse. But on that 5th time and me saying Jesus, I came back in my body. And this I know I was dead for 15 hours because when I came back in my body, mind you, the last thing I remember was like 2:30. I woke up screaming at a hotel at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. And I'm screaming at the top of my lungs in a hotel. And I wake the girl up. I'm screaming like sweaty, screaming. And she like, yo, you got schizophrenia. She incantatious word cursing me. I don't even care about that. I'm just screaming. I see hell. I see hell. I see hell. And she like, stop, stop. And everybody that I tell a story to, because I don't like talking about the story because it's so gruesome. They always say, if you, what I said to her was, I seen everything she was doing because she didn't believe me. So I told her verbatim what she was eating, what the baby was doing, what she was watching. And she told me that I was sleeping. She seen me sleeping. So when I tell other people the story, they said, so if you was sleeping for 15 hours, why didn't she call the ambulance, to see if everything was okay? Nobody sleeps for 15 hours. We sleep as humans, that's 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. So that's where I tell people I was dead for 15 hours. All that stuff have happened to me in the spirit for 15 hours. At this point, I had a bunch of my clothes at the hotel because my wife had put me out because I kept going back to the girl back and forth, and I had packed my stuff up and left. So it was all at the hotel. I end up, mind you, I have I'm battling this case. They said I cannot be around a girl. The case is over. I can talk about it now. At this point, I had this thing on my leg, this tether ankle monitor. So I was scared that I was gonna go to jail because this girl was kind of crazy. Like, she was obsessed with me, and she used to always think that I used to make up stories to go back to my wife. So all of this is going on after the hell stuff. I'm like, yo, I don't really know what to tell this girl because I'm freaked out. But if I take her home, what if she call the cops and they say, oh, you got to go to jail because we told you not to be around her? So look, by the grace of God, that didn't happen. I ended up taking her home. Well, her brother picked her up after I dropped her off at this location, and I drove all the way to where I'm originally from, Detroit, Michigan, from Houston, Texas. I couldn't sleep. My life was never the same. I was getting all type of weird stuff happening to me. Mind you, I never was really spiritual. I wasn't until like spiritual stuff. So when people ask me this, I'm like, I wouldn't make this up. I had a great life. I was making millions on YouTube. You know, I believed in Jesus. I believed in Christianity. That was my religion. But I mean, being realistically, I did that because my parents and them took me there. So it was just my tradition. I felt his presence before, but I just didn't have a personal relationship with Jesus. But when I said God, nothing happened. When I said Jesus, Jesus saved me 5 times. Like, he pulled me back in my body, and I was still being held to this day if I wouldn't have never called on the name of Jesus. So all of this stuff has happened. Mind you, I drove to my sister's house in Detroit, and I stayed with my sister for 7 months. And then more demonic stuff happened to me because I'm out of my mind. And I was ashamed to come on social media because of the fact that I'm a famous dude, comedian, prankster, all of this stuff going on. I don't want to seem crazy. I don't want to be known for this. And one particular day at 3 in the morning, I heard a voice. God woke me up at 3 a.m. I didn't believe it because I told you I wasn't spiritual still. Even though I'd seen this and encountered this, I know this stuff is real. Demons, angels, Jesus, God. I knew it was real now, but at that moment, I'm like, God, I'm not thinking of these thoughts. If this is you, I'm gonna say the most craziest thing. Make the hairs on my skin stand up as if I was cold. That happened. No, that's a coincidence. I got butterfly. I said, that's a coincidence because maybe I'm freaked out. I said, God, if you want me to believe this is you telling me to drop my testimony, drop my near-death experience, tell me right now. I mean, make the room. I told him, make the room supernaturally wind blow. There's no air in my room, but stay with my sister. No heater, no air conditioner, but it's some papers and stuff. The whole room started blowing wind, and I screamed at 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. I said, oh, and I said, oh, this is real. So I cried tears. I was just like, man, I don't want to drop this. I dropped it as I woke up. He said, drop it today. I woke up around 7:30, 8 a.m., prayed. I was just like, man, you know, I'm going to drop it on YouTube. I dropped it on YouTube on my Joel TV channel 2.0. It went viral. It like 400K. People couldn't believe it, but they was like, this where this dude been at? Or they thought I was rebranding for Christian content. Like, oh, he rebranded. And I was telling people like, yo, my last video was at 500,000. So that'd be dumb for me to rebrand and do Christian content when I already have views. And when I dropped it, I got attacked so bad. And that was my hell testimony. That was me dying from a drug overdose and Jesus saving me. And from there, yeah, that was it. If you're chasing money, make sure you have a purpose behind that. Chase Jesus because Jesus is going to fill the voids which you think money is going to fix. I was still depressed with multi-millions. I don't believe in people telling people to go broke. No, I believe in telling chase your purpose. Your purpose is where your happiness is going to be. It's going to be fulfillment. I wasn't chasing my purpose. I was just a broke kid that touched a good idea and had millions of dollars, and I needed sex, drugs to fill all those empty wounds. But when I found Jesus, Jesus filled those wounds up, and now I could pursue my dream, goals, aspirations. Because if I get those dream, goals, aspirations, I'm still gonna feel a wound because Jesus is the reason. We need that love. We need that love. If we don't have that love, we're gonna be drinking. We're gonna be trying to find different paths to hide that void. And Jesus can fill that void, or a demon can fill that void. Which one you want to choose? Because demons hides in crevices of your soul. And you don't want that because they're going to be just tormenting your mind. So I say put Jesus first. Then pursue your purpose. Seek your purpose in life. I didn't even hear about a purpose growing up in church or growing up, period. My mom had never taught me about a purpose. So I didn't know why I was here on this earth. I didn't know. So that's what I would say to the people.